The itis.
The what?
The itis. That's what you call it when you get sleepy after a big meal.
The Itiz Fat Boy Sub. Please, this is not for children. We start off with bacon. Yeah, I'm not going to do a little bit of bacon. I'm going to do a lot of bacon. So don't be afraid. It's all going to cook down. It's going to be a little bit of bacon when all said and done when you render down a lot of that fat. Bacon. I started on a low heat, and through the magic of video editing, you're going to watch the bacon go from in the pan to cooked. Magic. Once the bacon is cooked and you see it's nice, it's not crispy but just tender, I'm going to go ahead and pull it out of the pan. Set it off on a plate to the side because of course we've got to make everything else. Here I'm using a little bit of the bacon fat because it adds a little bit of salty flavor, and who doesn't love bacon other than vegans? I'm using the bacon fat not only as flavor but to grease the pan, which of course will make it easier for the steak, which has very little fat. Here I'm using a little Montreal Steak Seasoning, which is all you really need just to give it a little bit of flavor. Over a nice medium heat, you can toss your steak in, but make sure not to overcook it. You don't want it crisp, you want it tender, like everything else that's going in the sandwich. Give it a good toss. Make sure everything is good and cooking because you're going to move on to the next step in a moment, which is cutting the bread and giving the bread a little bit of color. I went with an 18-inch Italian bread. It's huge, it can hold a lot, and it's got a good flavor to it. So once you get it cut, place in the oven around 350 for about 10 minutes just to brown and crisp up and give it some color. Also too, if you want to change the flavor slightly, add a little bit of butter afterwards just to give it more creaminess. I went without it because I'm also going to be using a lot of everything. Next comes mixing together your sauce, or just basically something to glaze it with. But for this, I went with mayonnaise, a little bit of honey mustard, a little bit of Parmesan apple brandy, and some seasoning. You can go with whatever flavors you wanted. I just wanted something a little sweet, a little tart, and different. Everybody has their own taste, of course. Once you got everything mixed in together, including a little bit of splash of brandy, don't judge me. Give it a good mix. Give it a good taste. See how it tastes for you. Everybody has different flavors, of course. Some people like sweet, some people like spicy, some people like vinegary. It all depends on you. For me, I wanted something lightly sweetened and a little bit spicy and a little bit tart. Now I'm pulling out the bread. As you can see, it's got a beautiful little color to it. And I want to set up just to basically glaze the living hell out of it with the sauce, which is what you're going to see here now. Give it a good spread. Give it a good spread. This reminds me of the first time I made an itis. There was a guy named Bill. Made him the breakfast itis, which he loved to death. And I will never do that again. But that's another long story. Once you finish glazing it, I add on the steak. Just a little bit. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. Okay. Once you finish adding about a half a pound of steak to the 18-inch sub, then we add a little bit of bacon. Just a little bit of bacon. A little bit more than just a little bit of bacon. Okay. Alright, so just add in all your bacon. Then comes the cheese. For this, I went with a little bit of Monterey Jack, cheddar, and something else. And toast it. It gives it a beautiful color. It melts the cheese, holds everything together, and it makes it a lot easier for your next steps. And for all you vegans, smile. Here comes a little bit of lettuce. Once you got your lettuce on there, I went with some sweet honey ham. Not a whole lot. It seemed like this is a tremendously meaty sandwich. Well, this is not. There's like 3 slices of ham, 3 slices of honey roasted chicken. Excuse me, roasted chicken, not honey roasted. Some sharp cheddar cheese. Yes, I'm trying to make it look perfect for no reason whatsoever because I'm going to be the only person even eating this thing, but I'm trying to make it look good for all you fans, all 3 of you. Once we finish putting the cheese, which I'm counting as a vegetable, next come fruit. And yes, tomatoes are a fruit, but I didn't want whole slices, so I took time, sliced them in halves, and a couple of small pieces of tomato for you vegans and the fruit lovers. And the coup de grace, some smoked turkey breast, which pretty much ends this Itiz sub. You've got steak, you've got turkey, ham, chicken, cheeses, lettuce, tomatoes, honey Dijon mixed in with a little bit of mayo and a little bit of seasoning. And like I said at the beginning, this is not for children. Eat this, especially if you eat all of this, take a nice long nap. But this ends the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you subscribe, like. If you don't like, just let me know. And like all things, Bill. Stop staring at it, Bill. You're not going to get any. I'm going to hell.